Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we are talking all about foundations. I asked you guys on Instagram what you wanted to see first, whether it was the foundation video or the how I style my hair video. So the how I style my hair video will be coming up, but for today we are going to be talking about foundations. I'm stoked to do this video because I feel like I get asked all the time what my favorite foundations are, why I like them, why I use them, what do I use on other people, all that fun stuff. So I've narrowed it down to my favorite 4 foundations, and they are a combination of drugstore foundations and then more high-end foundations. So hopefully, depending on how much money you want to spend, whether you want to stick to like a drugstore price or you're okay doing like a Sephora priced foundation, hopefully you'll find something in this video that might work for you. Alright guys, you know the drill. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Do this video is I'm gonna go from my number 4 to my number 1. So 4 being like the one I would choose very last out of these 4, and 1 being my most favorite all-time holy grail. I love it, can't live without it, I would die foundation. So to start off at number 4, I have the MAC Studio Fix Foundation. I think a lot of people they either love MAC or they hate MAC. Wherever you fall, I'm gonna talk about it anyway. So the MAC Studio Fix Foundation is amazing. I really like this foundation. I actually worked at MAC for a little bit a couple years ago, and I really got to test and experience and kind of like see for myself how all the products worked. And this foundation was by far one of the best products. I truly think one of the best products that MAC has. This foundation comes in 60 different shades. So this is like huge. This foundation is the one that has the widest shade range out of all 4 that I'm talking about today. So if you really struggle with like finding your, perfect shade, or like, something cooler, something warmer, there's a good chance that you'll probably find something that matches you when you look at Studio Fix foundation. So in my opinion, this foundation finishes in like a semi-matte finish. I love matte foundations. I just really prefer it. And it's not even because I have oily skin. I just really hate like being able to feel the foundation or like see it or anything like that. So my skin type is like combination. I don't really have dry skin. I don't really have oily skin. I'm kind of like, I fall in between. So this foundation I found was perfect for me because it wasn't super like drying, but it also wasn't super dewy where like I touch my face, go like this, and I can see foundation. Like I just don't like that. But if you have dry skin, then something more dewy probably is more suitable for you. But yeah, like I said, this foundation does come in 60 different shades. This is in the shade NC25. I do fall on the NC spectrum. They also have NW, and then there is one more, but I can't remember what it is. But yes, there are a lot of shades in this particular foundation, so it makes me a huge fan. I love using this on brides because most of the time a lot of people fall under like a combination skin, or they might have dry skin or oily skin, but they want to look a little like more dewy, a little bit glowy. This is like the perfect foundation for that because like I said, it is like a semi-matte finish, so it's kind of matte, kind of not, and I just feel like it is the perfect like in between. Another thing with this foundation is if you do like it to be more like on your face, it's not going anywhere, like it's completely matte, you see no shine at all, I would recommend setting this with a powder. So when I'm personally using this foundation, what I like to do is I will put all the foundation on, I'll put my concealer, I'll set my concealer with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and then I will set my entire face with the Charlotte Tilbury powder that I had mentioned in I think a few videos back. So yeah, like I said, I do love this foundation, but for me I do need to set it with a powder. Alright, this foundation is my favorite drugstore foundation. So this foundation can be purchased at Target, at Walgreens, and at Ulta. This foundation is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation, and if you've been around on my channel for a while, you know that this is one of my favorite foundations. Even if I've done your makeup before, I usually find some point to mention that I love this foundation. This is a fabulous foundation, and I believe its price point is like $12 or $13. Very, very reasonable. The only downfall with this foundation is that it does only come in 12 colors. So compared to 60, it doesn't have like a huge shade range, but this foundation, the reason I love it and the reason I talk about it so much and recommend it to literally everybody that I know is because it dries in a very matte powdery finish. And what I mean by that is when I put this on, I don't even have to work super quickly. Like it dries, but it's not like, oh my god, you have like 3 seconds before your face is just dried, you know what I mean? Some foundations are like that. So it's definitely not like that. You can definitely take some time, not a lot of time, but some time to kind of work it in your skin, place it how you want, make it look good. But with this foundation, I found but I don't necessarily have to take a powder compact or any kind of powder, setting powder, just a regular powder, whatever powder. I don't have to take that and then set my foundation. So I can seriously take this, I can put my moisturizer, my primer, and then take this foundation and put it on, and I don't have to put anything else on my face. So this foundation definitely stays in place. It is locked in, like it is not going anywhere. Now again, I have combination skin, so I can't speak for using this foundation as somebody who has oily skin or who has dry skin. In my opinion, if you have dry skin, you probably will not love this as much as somebody with combination or oily skin might. Again, I can only speak on behalf of my own skin. I have used this on both somebody who is oily and dry, and I mean, it looks great, but I don't exactly know how the longevity of it is throughout the day. So like I said, just something I wanted to mention because my skin type is combination, so this works perfectly for me. And again, I buy this at Ulta and it's about $12 or $13. This is shade 105, which is what I have on today. I do fake tan, self tan, whatever you want to call it. So I like something that's a little bit more like tanner, more like orangey yellowy, like not in a bad way, but like more tan. But I do have every single color in this foundation because it's just great, and I like to be able to mix it to make it lighter or darker. So yes, this foundation is absolutely amazing. It's perfect for every day because for me, I don't necessarily do my makeup every day. Like I definitely do not look like this every day. For work, I just happen to have to like put makeup on today, but I love this because this is not like something I feel really bad about using a ton of it. So if you are wearing foundation every day, it doesn't feel as bad like using up a tube as it would like a $45 tube of foundation or a $45 bottle of foundation, you know what I mean? So again, if it's something that you're just like looking for an everyday, quick and easy, like I want to throw this on and put nothing else on, like, or this and mascara and just like call it a day and leave, then this is the perfect foundation for you. So yes, I love this foundation. And again, this foundation is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. All right, coming in at number 2 is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Again, I always find a point in time to tell everybody that I love this foundation because this foundation and this foundation are super duper similar, and I'll tell you how. So this foundation does have a higher price point. This is a more higher end. I mean, it's Estee Lauder, so it's not necessarily something you can pick up at Walgreens or at Target, but this foundation is amazing. And if you're somebody, and this is totally personal preference, if you want something that is more higher end, you don't want it to be drugstore because that's how some people are, which is totally fine. This is very comparable, in my opinion, to the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. This foundation also is super matte and it dries in a powdery finish. Like I mentioned with the other foundation, when you put this on, you don't have to set it, you don't have to like put anything else on if you don't want to, and you just don't feel it on your skin. So it literally feels like you have put powder on top of your foundation when you haven't. So I just really love not being able to feel the foundation after I apply it, or like 6 hours later in the middle of my day. I am not a fan of that. So finding a foundation also that does that is a little bit challenging. So this foundation is absolutely amazing. I have used this for a couple years. I use it on myself and I use it on my clients because I think it is just such a great product by Estee Lauder. So this foundation does come in 56 different shades according to Ulta.com. You can pick this up at Ulta, you can pick it up at Nordstrom, but this is one of my holy grail products. I've loved this since the very first time I've tried it, and it has, like I said, a huge shade range. So again, if you're somebody who struggles to find your perfect color, I would definitely recommend trying out Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Alright you guys, and coming in at number 1, my all-time most loved foundation is the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. Now I don't have it because I ran out of it, but I love this foundation so much. So I want to tell you a little story so that you get an idea of how amazing this foundation is. Okay, so I love the coverage in all of the foundations I've previously mentioned. So keep in mind also that all of these foundations I've mentioned are full coverage because that is what I prefer. That's my personal preference. I unfortunately do not have like perfect skin. I know it looks good right now, girl, you ain't gotta tell me, but like it's only because I know how to do my makeup, you know what I mean? Like my actual skin is not like 100 ever. So I like full coverage foundation for that reason, because I have a lot of like acne scarring and like whatever redness to cover up. So personal preference, but whatever. So all of these foundations are full coverage. So is this Becca foundation. This Becca foundation is my favorite because It is very similar to Infallible and the Estee Lauder foundation in that it dries in a almost like powdery kind of finish. This one is kind of not as powdery. Like, it is powdery, but it's almost not as powdery as the other two that I have mentioned. But you could still probably very much so get away with not setting like your whole face with powder, and like you'd be fine. But the reason I love this foundation is because a couple years ago, right after I turned 21, I went out for a night with my friends and we went to the bars and we were having a great time, and I got home and I was so tired and like did not want to take off my makeup. And this was actually the very first time I was wearing this foundation, so I figured what a perfect time to try it out. I'm gonna go out for a night, I'm gonna be dancing, I'm gonna be having a great time, I want to just see the longevity of this makeup. So I ended up, this is terrible, I do not recommend doing this, I'm just saying this is what happened, okay? So I ended up sleeping in my makeup, like, and homegirl went full glam, like everything. I mean, like, this is full, like, I was, you know, looking good. So I went to sleep with all of my makeup on, which was again, a terrible idea, don't do it, but this is what happened. I went to sleep with my makeup on, and the next morning, when I wake up, I am not kidding you, the makeup looked flawless still. It's like I slept just like with my head back on the pillow and just calmly went to sleep, and I don't sleep like that. Like, I don't ever look that cute, but I woke up in my foundation and everything on my face was still perfectly in place. And I'm like a wild sleeper. I sleep with my face on the pillow, like I sleep on my side, like it's crazy. But I woke up and the foundation looked so good still, and from that moment on I was like, this foundation literally is 24 hours. Like, it's amazing. It wasn't actually 24 hours, but like it was almost like 15, 16, 17, I don't know. But it was a long time, and I thought, okay, if it can last through all of that, like going out for a night, dancing, sleeping, like that foundation is amazing. So that's just my fun little story that I like to tell, but that is how I knew that I loved the foundation, that I knew it was like a very, very good full coverage. Like, the longevity was spectacular, which just means like it lasted a very, very long time. And I knew it for myself because I wasn't intending to sleep in the makeup, nor was I intending to wear it for that long, but it just so happened that I did. And essentially, even if I had put it on at like, you know, 5 in the morning and didn't go to sleep until like, you know, 1 or 2, it's the same kind of thing. It just is different hours of the day. So depending on how long you like to wear your makeup, or if you have an event or like whatever, it is so good. Like, it's so good. I can't even, there are no words. There are no words. So I'm going to insert a screenshot of what the foundation looks like right here so that you guys have a good idea of like what it looks like. But yeah, this foundation is my absolute favorite foundation. Definitely comes in at number 1, although I do love these other 3. And on a more like day-to-day basis, I probably do wear the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte the most. Alright, so I just want to recap all these foundations for you guys. My favorite foundation at number 4 was the MAC Studio Fix foundation. It comes in 60 different shades, and the price point is $30. This can be purchased at Ulta, and it can also be purchased on maccosmetics.com. At number 3, we have the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation. This foundation can be purchased at any drugstore, Target, Walgreens, Walmart, and also at Ulta. And this comes in 12 different shades, and the price is $13. At number 2, we have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This foundation can be purchased at Ulta, it can also be purchased at Sephora, and it can be purchased at Nordstrom.com or Nordstrom in stores. This foundation comes in 56 different colors, and the price point for this foundation is $44. And of course, again, my number 1 favorite foundation is this foundation right here, which is the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. This comes in 24 different shades, and the price point is $44. And one thing I forgot to mention in this video before we started is that I am wearing right now the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation. So I figured I was probably going to get a question or two on like what I'm actually wearing in this video. So what I'm wearing right now is the L'Oreal Infallible, and fun fact, I have had this on for, it's 6 o'clock right now. I put this on at 7 o'clock this morning. But yeah, that wraps up this week's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you guys do want more product recommendations or want to know more of my favorite things, please just let me know in the comments and I can do another video. Another one I really want to do is my favorite nude lipsticks. I don't know, just an idea. Let me know if you want to see it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so, so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!